Oh my god, Renepunk. Congratulations. Jesus Christ. I swear this is not rigged. I can show you the code. This is all random. See? It takes a random from the list length. Are you sure? You really want me to reroll? Are you forfeiting your winning position? Okay. Consider Renepunk. Okay. Okay, officially Renepunk said I have to reroll. So it was the winner's choice to reroll. I'm gonna... A lot of mobile games do this, where they sell you something for $0.99, right? And it's heavily discounted. It was originally like, I don't know, it is 80% off. So you get something for a huge value for just $1. And if they get you to spend $1, then the floodgates are open. Because now you have a foot in the door. And then you can sell the next thing for maybe $2.99, right? And then maybe another thing for, I don't know, $7.99. And then it's like, oh yeah, I've already spent $10 on this game. Why not spend another $14.99? And that is how you get more sales on mobile. This is an official dark pattern. This is the dark pattern. It is very strange. But what is the difference? Built on an entirely new engine with new AI support for Steam Deck and more features, world-building path. Okay, that's the same thing but on a different engine. Cool. Okay, this was released in 2016. This was released in 2024. I would buy this one. I would buy this one, to be honest. Just get the new one. Just get the new one. But I don't know anything about these games, so... They're sold as a bundle, which makes it indefinitely worse, yeah. That is crazy. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remake Faith in Despair in Godot and then sell it again. And I'm gonna say Faith in Despair, Patience Edition. There's like this meme going around, or this comic going around, where a potential customer goes to an artist value shop and they said, oh my god, your booth is so nicely set up. And then you see the booth from behind and you see all of the duct tape everywhere, and everything is just loosely held together with duct tape and strings and whatever. But on the outside you don't see that, and I feel like it's exactly the same with games. Like there's a lot of duct tape going on. And a lot of strings and, you know, just loosely attached to everything. It is what it is. But I think that also makes it fun. That makes it fun, especially when you have a bug. Well, like last Friday. It is an edged case on top of an edge case. Like you have to dig so deep into the code that the detective work is something. Oh my god, that is so weird. When you hear an AI-generated voice, and it has these weird human pauses and ahs, it is so weird. Like it is almost making you, I don't know, gives you goosebumps or whatever, because it almost sounds alien. Yeah, that's so weird. If something feels awkward, it might be the best direction to go to. Awkward sometimes means you're on the right path, and something that I've learned recently. If something feels awkward, you're out of your comfort zone, and that probably means you are telling something that is very true to your heart. And very, like, true in general. Because if it's true to your heart, it will also resound as truth to people who then experience what you've created. That is very powerful stuff. It's very powerful. Like, people feel when something is authentic. Asynchrony is very silly. If you have a product and you sell it for $149, it might sound very expensive, right? You're like, oh my god, this is very expensive. Well, we also have the deluxe edition. It's called, it costs $799. This is the deluxe edition. Nobody buys that, by the way. This is nobody buys that. You don't need that. But now you see $799 and $149 looks very cheap now, right? It is compared to $799. I'm not spending $800, but $150. That's pretty nice now. Now that I know that what else I could have bought, for example. And at some point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna add a level editor. A level editor always sounds kind of nice, you know, because it's like, yeah, then players can make their own levels and this game kind of will live on forever or whatever. In hindsight, the only redeeming thing about the level editor was that I added a kind of a UI menu system or whatever that I was able to reuse in Faith and Despair. So in hindsight, it kind of helped the new project get off really, really quickly from the start. But in terms of was it worth it for the previous project? I don't think so. Here's another thing, a small thing. We even had to remove it for the console release because getting a rating for user-made levels is really, really difficult. It just, you know, makes it very difficult in terms of, because people can just draw whatever they want, basically, right?
Yeah, no, it's...
Remember good old Chester, the emote on Steam? Well, rest in peace, because the clown is now dead. Steam just announced the second edition of the community rewards, the community emotes, and all of the new awards. The clown is no longer among them. You can no longer give a clown emote. So here's the question. How can we figure out if a negative review is bullshit? Because this was always the bullshit indicator. But how can we now figure out which of these negative reviews is actually wrong? See, this was always the Chester, our number one indicator that what we are reading is just trash. But how can we now, we need to figure out which of these is the Chester replacement. I don't know, maybe it's the ring over here because it looks like a donut or whatever. Today the plumber was here and he investigated our wall. And he took a look at it and he's like, well, there is no water pipe behind it. It must be a chimney. Right? And I was like, no. The chimney sweep was here and he said it's not a chimney, so it must be a water pipe. But then the plumber today said, yeah, but there's no water anywhere. So what you're gonna do is on the December 30th, they're gonna open this bad boy up. They're gonna open it up and then we will see what's behind this door. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I want to see what's behind it. Is it a decomposing body? I don't know. It's a piece of art, yeah. Did the entity break through now? No, it is still trying. This feeling of being 16 never goes away. No. No. I still feel like I'm 18 years old or whatever, and then it's just like, oh my god. Every time I think about my age, I'm like, what? No. Yeah, you realize that age is really just a number, and every time you see an adult or whatever that is 50 years old, there is still an 18-year-old person in there, and it's so interesting. And that is why if you see a president at 70 years old, it's just a toddler. It's just a guy who has no fucking idea. Nobody has any clue what they're doing. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Feature complete. That's right. Today is podcast day, everybody. Like every 2 days, it's super exciting. Hello, Renapunk. Hello, Nixonali. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? Now, I expect I expect a lot of people to not be here today. Actually, you know what? I think a lot of people actually just fled the country. They just fled the whole continent. Because we have another heat wave. Yes, that's right. We have approximately 40 degrees tomorrow and on Wednesday and maybe on Thursday again. Lovely to see you all again as well. Yes, I'm really excited to be here. Now, inside of this room, I have about 26 degrees, so I'm fine. But everybody else out there is sweating and not having a good time. And prayers, I'm sending prayers to all of you. But yeah, today my chat cracked me up, yes. We gotta fix that for sure. I probably made a decision to do that at some point. There you go, is that better? Okay. No, but it is really hot. Anyway, today we're gonna talk about marketing, and I know some people probably cringe at hearing this. Hello, Ludwig. Hello, welcome back. How's it going? How is it going, Task? How was your weekend? How was everybody's weekend? Today we're gonna have a podcast with MadChirpy in about, I don't know, half an hour. Depends. And then we're going to talk about marketing. I know, again, a lot of people are probably cringing when they hear the word. And, you know, you say the word marketing and they're like, and they're hissing like vampires. But I think we can safely walk around this and maybe, you know, change a few minds today. That is at least my goal. Because marketing is fundamentally not something bad. Yeah, you can use it for good, and that is what we're going to talk about today. I'm really excited about it. Marketing is an important side of every activity these days. Maybe. How are you doing this? Yeah, how is everybody doing this in this heat? I mean, Nixon probably has about 18 degrees. Renapunk has an AC, so I guess he's fine. And Germany is not so crazy right now. Damn. Why did you turn up the heat in Austria? I don't get it. It's I don't get it. It has to be some kind of conspiracy theory at some point. Hello everyone, yes and yes. Okay, that sounds to me like you have 18 degrees. Okay. Yeah, we will have 18 degrees again sometime soon. That is the only thing that is absolutely certain. At some point we will have 18 degrees again and lower than that. Ah, see, 70 degrees. I was really close. I was really close to that. In a short time span, I was like crazy obsessed with guerrilla marketing. I bought one of those guerrilla marketing for dummies. Nice. So, did you try anything, Ludwig? What is your example? That is actually a good point. I'm gonna use that today. Guerrilla marketing. How is it guerrilla marketing? Yeah, because of the ape, of course. It's going to rain tomorrow. Nice. It's going to rain in Vienna on Thursday. Probably. Yeah. It's monkey business. Exactly. What would you rather have? Occasional heat waves or occasional tornadoes? Let me think about that. Occasional heat waves or occasional tornadoes? I think occasional heat waves because, you know, the town is still standing after a heat wave. Maybe not so much after a tornado. Didn't use it, but was fascinated with the possibilities and examples. Okay, give me one example if you can remember. Yeah, actually gonna look it up. That is a good one. Guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing. No, it is guerrilla marketing. There's no second I. Guerrilla marketing. I was right. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm gonna share this with you guys. So we have literally Literally have guerrilla marketing over here. So I was right twice. It is about apes, and you only read it with one eye. No, just kidding. No, you see, guerrilla marketing. There you go. Crush that freaking BMW. There you go. Crush it. A literal guerrilla hand for marketing. Yes, exactly. No, I think this is a good point, because I had a friend who tried it. So it's, what did he do? Oh yeah. He sent, what did he do? Was it, I think it was news outlets. So this was a long time ago. He was working on a game called Digitanks. And to Digitanks, he sent out a bunch of boxes with cookies, I think, to news stations, because this was a long time ago, and you know, gaming news sites were still more important. But that is what he did, because he wanted to find a way to get the attention, and so he picked a few of those and sent them a bunch of cookie boxes. And there was some kind of clever text inside as well, which I don't remember. But yeah, to news magazines. That is one thing that my friend did. What else did he try? I don't remember. But yeah, he did try some off-the-cuff crap. I hate seeing a lot of the small bands, musicians forcing themselves to film TikTok dances or skits to bring in more attention potential listeners. It's like a new humiliation ritual. That's true, yeah. That's true. A lot of, I'm actually gonna, you know what, I'm maybe gonna talk about that. So forced, or kind of forced, to make reels. I was gonna say eels. Forced to make eels. No, forced to make reels. Like dancing and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. Nivea had a fun one, guerrilla marketing, Nivea bench. Oh, nice. Nivea bench. Wait a minute, guerrilla. I need to make sure to say this correctly, otherwise... Wait a minute, I know I need to say it wrong so I can farm some engagement. Engagement. Music cannot be music anymore, it's visual style, accessories, dance is the world of actual culture, yes. I just recently got recommended the recent video or the recent music track by Rebecca. You know, the person who made the Friday song, and it is more softcore porn now than music. And it is, I don't know. Yeah, you can take this path, but I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it is a good idea. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. You're a free woman. Nivea bench. Sure. Nivea bench. Nivea bench doesn't seem to find any results. Do you still remember this? Okay, add guerrilla marketing. Alright. 15 clap bench guerrilla marketing. Oh, goodbye cellulite bench campaign. that is a good one. Yeah, that is good. I assume you mean this one, right? Yeah, that is a really good one. Oh my god. Goodbye cellulite, Nivea creative insurance custom how well it works in treatment of cellulite. Yeah, that is very creative. That is very creative. Well, on the other hand, I've seen a lot of YouTube shorts of the same fragment of a same song published by the same account. Some being recorded as part of a recording stage, some as part of the concert, got my attention. But man, was it weird constantly getting the same thing in multiple different flavors? Yeah. I thought Nivea would force the users bench presses for some reason. I don't know if that helps against cellulite, but maybe, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, that's a good one though. Guerrilla marketing isn't just clever, it's unforgettable. It's unforgettable. From a Kit Kat's iconic bench to Neva's genius sunscreen balloon. Our favorite guerrilla marketing ideas. Okay. An Indian idol. Dennis, how do I make this full screen? I hate Instagram. I hate it. Ah! That is a... Stop with the... Go away. Go away with the notifications. Go away. Never mind. That is the... Ah, that's cool. Oh, the Kit Kat bench. Oh, that's nice. Same as Kit Kat, Gorilla Marketing Kit. Yeah, there it is. Have a great Kit Kat. That's cool. Nivea protects... I don't get this one. No, I wonder what was the most successful marketing campaign for an indie game? Oh, that is good. That is a good question. The most successful marketing campaign for an indie game. For an indie game. That is a good question because I would assume that normally it's just organic for an indie game, right? Because the game has a certain spark or a certain something that people will just recommend it to their friends. Okay, but let's see. Preserve a sense of mystery. Okay. Make it personal. For Stanley Parable, yeah, I guess. Okay, for an extra 2 months work, we get an entire second game's worth of press. That seems like a good deal to risk going out without. I mean, yeah. So this content included 5 cryptic trailers as well as a custom demo. Okay. I mean, that I can understand. That is a good one because, I mean, it works for a game like Stanley Parable. I would say not something that you can really... Because it works for this game because there's already an existing audience is what I mean. Right? I don't think this is for the... Yeah, when it relaunched as a standalone game in 2013. Wait a minute. No, I think this was for the relaunch. 5 cryptic trailers? Anyway. War of Mine, new perspectives. Okay. Super Hot. Super Hot is really good. But I think, you know, this game like just sells itself because of the trailer. I guess that is what they mean. The trailer where it says super hot. I guess this is what they mean. And the other one is Opus Magnum Minecraft. Let your players market for you. Yeah, this is not a marketing campaign. That is yeah, okay. Well, let's read it. What does it mean? I guess with user generated content, yes. User generated content, yes. Is a party game, blah blah blah. Wasn't just a level that was ingenious. Opus Magnum is really good, by the way. Whenever a player came up with a solution for power, they would be able to export the take on the level easily and simply in form of a GIF. Oh, that's a good one. GIFs. That is a really good one. Because GIFs generator. So I didn't, yeah, I completely forgot that Opus Magnum did this. Opus Magnum. That is a huge one, but also Mussolina. Mussolina did this as well. If you play Mussolina, then at the end of the level you will have a GIF that you can send around on social media, which is huge. It is a really good one. This game is basically a GIF generator, which is so fun. So yeah, these are the GIFs that you can generate. So you can immediately see what the level was and then how they tried to solve it, and there's a bit of tension, you know, because you can see how the player is struggling and then dying. Yeah, like these all come from the game. I think this is a really good move, and you know, it worked out. It did really well. Surely you've watched in the past the classic one made in USS Times. Oh, they're talking to each other. Okay. There's also nice pictures. Okay, cool. Thank you. Hookagency.com. What is guerrilla marketing? Barbia. Oh my god, no, now I'm hungry. Spray painting a sidewalk or pressure washing your sun with a stencil on a dirty sidewalk. Create a stencil of clean sheet. Yeah. Oh, that is really clever. Oh, that is really clever. You're using the dirt on the street and then you're just cleaning the parts of it that have your logo on it. That is really clever. Because then it's not really, you're actually cleaning the city. It's not even vandalism. Dude, this is so clever. I love this. I don't suggest spray painting design unless of course, but yeah, but this is really cool. Okay, I'm still wondering if this is like some kind of a legal gray area, because you're still advertising on a public thing. I'm not sure about this one, but yeah, it is. I mean, as soon as next rain is coming, it's like nothing happened. Bounty paper towers. Make small work of big spills. Okay. Giant foot imprints on a beach to promote a movie. That is a really good one. That is really good. Phone message memorial. Scary reminder of a grave of texting and driving. Oh. A promotional photo makes it look like people have fleas on the dog. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Oh, I love this. We just discovered our own Mandela effect. Oh. Zoo advertisement. Giant snake constricting a bus. That is cool. Then this two-shaped take a number. Nice. Yeah. Contrive a spot to take a photo. Kissing boy. Okay. When you do anything that gets you out of the office and you out of a comfort zone. That's true. Yeah. Think of something crazy and creative. Yeah. And just bring your product to a customer's doorstep and shake their hands. That is very true. Yeah. You just have to get out there. Cool. They made a water graffiti in Germany on a dam. Wow. Wow, as part of cultural sponsorship, Kirche cooperated with the artists. I know what Kirche is. Kirche are the people selling the water pressure thingies. Create a reverse graffiti artwork. That is so cool. That's just made with water pressure. It's just through targeted removal of dirt. That is a really cool idea. Yeah. Dude, Kirche is still family owned. Crazy. The best known works include drawings on dam walls in Germany, France, Luxembourg, Japan, and South Korea. In Germany, a reverse graffiti was created on the Eibenstock Dam near Zwickau, one of the Oleftalsperre. Okay. That is really cool. Oh, wow, okay. These include industrial climbers. Oh my god. I have a hoover from Kara, it sucks. But oh wow. Wow. That's so beautiful. I thought they blew. Wow. Cool. And they even made faces. Wow. Should I know these people? Probably not. Oh, that's crazy, dude. But how are they... How do they mark these? They seem to have some kind of pink markings here, right? The thing is, this guy is not damaging. If you want to make marketing nobody wants stuff on the walls or so this is non-destructive. Yeah, this is not vandalism. This is actually really cool. It's just a great use of creativity, I guess. Nice. Okay, yeah, but user-generated content can also take you far, but you need a huge audience. Like if you just have 10 users and make levels, this is not gonna do a lot. It's hard to say. I'm not sure this is... I mean, this was so built into Minecraft that... I don't know, this is yeah. You can have your players have a lot of creativity. Sure, and then it works. Hello T-Bag. Hello Corner Theory, how are you guys doing? How was your weekend? We're gonna talk to MadChirpy in a second. Wait a minute. In a second or two. That's right. About marketing. Anybody in chat who really likes marketing? Or anybody in chat who really dislikes marketing? No, we're not going to Instagram. Jumper time and tea time. I had a day where I did nothing and it was amazing. Wow. Yeah, my wife and I, we played some board games and we played Magic the Gathering yesterday and the day before because it was so hot that we couldn't do not much else. We actually wanted to take a hike, but it was too hot. It was just too hot. And then so we decided to stay inside with the AC, play some board games, and it was beautiful. And we also went to the gym yesterday. Yesterday it was fortunately a bit cooler, but today it's 37 degrees and I don't like it. You're doing a podcast today? Yes. We are mentally preparing for the podcast. That is why I asked you guys, do you have any opinions about marketing, especially marketing a video game? Do you like the term marketing? What are your thoughts about it? Have you ever marketed anything before? What is your... Were you a marketer? I know that, for example, my father, he was a salesman. He used to sell insurances and he would go from door to door and ask people directly. And he made a lot of money. He did really well. For Half Gamer, you could have made those live and desk cells out of old phone booths and placed them in Vienna. True. What is your audience? And that's how we met your mother. What is the audience? Oh, the audience today are game devs. I would prefer not to call it marketing, but rather slap it in the face with pleasure and mint. Yeah, the great slapping. And that is indeed how I met your mother. Wow. That works maybe for a tea company, true. So if you're working for, I don't know, a mint tea company, that could work. Then slapping into people's face, then it's like, oh my god. And then it's like, why are you doing it? And it's like, well, this is how you prepare mint tea. By slapping it into people's face? No, by slapping in general. This is just one way to do it. That could work. You can make shirts and plushes. This is yeah, if you... The thing with plushies and shirts is you need somebody to buy those. So if you because they're very expensive to make. The other thing is that you can do is drop shipping, but you still have to set up the shop for that. And that is also gonna cost a little bit of money. And then you need to set up all of the designs. Yes. Is a possibility, for sure. I like hearing about marketing. Hello Fox Quest, how's it going? Always on interest from a game dev perspective. Nice. What has been your experience with marketing, Fox Quest? Because do you consider streaming to be marketing as well? Or do you personally have a bit more marketing background in terms of, I don't know, marketing your art? I'm also doing good. I'm about to have this podcast with MadChirpy, probably another 15 minutes. It's not only for Minty Tea, also for... You know what was the best piece of game marketing in my opinion? Team Fortress 2, meet the blah blah videos. That is actually good. A good point, yeah. Those videos are really, really good. I really like those, yeah. Saying marketing online only loses much fun possibilities. Yeah, but the scalability of marketing online is way through the roof. Because, for example, if I go to a physical event and I put my game there, for example, I was in the recent comics event here in Vienna, and I had a booth there with my game. So, so my intention of going there was to get feedback. It was not my intention to market the game, because I know that these events are not good for getting wish lists or getting sales. Because at most, if people sit down to play it, then they take like 30 minutes to play through it. And then you have like maybe one more customer. So the scalability of these physical events is very small. So I would much rather do something crazy online where there's there's a lot more eyes on it. But if you can do something in real life that looks really cool, then that might get a lot of recordings out of it, Instagram Reels and TikToks and stuff like that. That might work, but it needs to be something really crazy. Meet the Medic has 103 million viewers. Wow. I would say, this is a really tough one, because you can try that for an indie game, but if you have zero audiences, zero audience members, this is a tough one. You can release 5 videos, and if they're really, really good, they might get some traction. But I mean, the Meet the Medic videos was probably done internally at Valve with a team of, I don't know, 20 people or something. It's my guess. Or maybe just one highly gifted individual. One highly gifted t-shirt people. Buy headcrab plushies and paint them gray, and then sell them as dragons. I like your way of thinking, Corner Theory. I don't have a personal experience with marketing, to be honest, but I don't think I consider streaming as marketing. Okay. I've gone through that YouTuber course on marketing and had a pretty broad overview of what it was, but it was mostly about marketing products and not services. It is hard though. Yeah, it is hard. But that is interesting. So have you, I'm sorry to put you on the spot here and you don't have to answer, but what is like one thing that you applied from this marketing course, if you want to say, if not just, remain silent. In regards to TF2, it's commonplace to make these class representation videos nowadays, but it was groundbreaking at the time. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you're groundbreaking, that's good for you. But if you're imitating something that was groundbreaking before, you can never, reach the same height. You're always kept at this ceiling, because you will never be as good as the original one. That's a big problem. No bad joke inside. I like how you preface that. I worked in a company that focused a lot on marketing. Product was good, yes, but only because of the online ads, videos, reels and all that. The company could reach so many people, especially because it was a nice product. Oh, it was a niche product. Okay, yeah, but so that is exactly what I want to talk about today. Because if you have a good product, even if it's for a good niche or for a small niche, then then the job is only to find the people that is within that niche. But I think first and foremost, you need to have a really good product that is potentially a product that people will just recommend by themselves, word of mouth. That is what you should strive for. I know everybody says just make a good game, and it sounds so easy, but this is what you kind of have to do. Yeah. Especially when there's no market yet, you need to create it, tell people why they need it. Okay. Well, this is kind of a chicken and egg problem. Usually when you want to make something or sell something, you need to sell the solution to a problem. If you also need to create the problem, then you have a problem on your hands. Then you really have a problem. Jokes back from now on. Thank you. Hot take: copy what works for others and don't try to invent the wheel. No, I think so. I think that's true. Yeah, task. I mean, I would say there's a YouTuber who recently said this. You just have to yoink and twist. Basically, you copy what others have done, and then you add a special, unique twist to it, and then you can, do something else again. What are you selling? I'm confused. No, we're just gonna talk about marketing today. In today's podcast, we're just gonna talk about marketing, and specifically marketing for indie games or indie game developers. If no one wants that there was a problem, if no one knows that there was a problem, that there's now a better solution, then you're not creating a problem. You're just making it visible. Yeah, I think the iPad was one of those things where, or even maybe the first iPhone, where a lot of people didn't know they had a problem, or they didn't know that this was something that they needed or wanted. I think this is a very rare case, though. On the other hand, I think the iPhone was solving 3 problems. The first one is you had, or maybe it solved one problem, and that solved it really well. The problem that the iPhone solved was that you had 3 different things that you needed to do, and this was the device that you could do it all on. So actually, you know what, now that I think about it, the iPhone actually solved a really big problem. Because with this device you can have phone, internet, and also the iPod, and it's all in one thing. And that is, I think, the solution that that is the problem that they found a solution for. It has been a minute, but I have to go back and look at my notes. It's okay. But one thing I remember seeing was you would need something cheap to bait people into checking your product. But making it cheap, then offering options that are better and more expensive when you do. I think what you're talking about is upselling. Basically, you give them a low entry option. For example, you give them a subscription of, I don't know, €5 per month, and then once you already have them, this is what mobile games do actually. Mobile games, they trick you into making your first purchase. For example, they say, hey, here's this package of 1 million gems, and it's $1, and it is 80% off of the usual price. So this is a huge deal. And as soon as you buy this $1 item, then they basically have the foot in the door, and they can upsell you more things, because then it's like, yeah, basically the floodgate is open. So you need to kind of hook them, or to kind of open the wallet a little bit, and then it's, yeah, you can take the rest, because it's, I might as well buy this as well. That is basically thinking. You yoink and twist every day. Exactly. This is how the creative works. For the purpose of discussion, you're setting a hypothetical game. I guess for the purpose of our discussion, we are trying to share our experiences with marketing in video games, in indie games. In hopes that what we have learned will also help other people. Now I'm looking at your stream again, got distracted a few times. Why are you so afraid of the right side or the left, I believe? So much empty space. This is because we're going to have a Video Ninja up here soon. And then it's going to look something like this. Hello. Oh yeah. The less marketing, the better then. Cool. I guess one way of doing that would be making a tight demo and plastering it everywhere to attract people, reducing all points of friction for people getting it. If they like it, they buy it. That's a good point, yes. Now you've made me conscious of that. So, yeah, this is one of the things that I definitely would suggest. Putting a demo on itch.io and Newgrounds as a WebGL build, because then people can just play it. That is a big one. Ivan was solving one problem and creating 10 more. That's true. That is actually true, yes. Wait a minute. Do we have a go? Okay. Alright. Let's do it. Jabi is about to join us, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to switch to Video Ninja. We're gonna make sure that I'm in frame as well. Hello, am I in frame? Jab is about to jump in, yes. Wait. Where do I put this? Where do I... Okay. Let me turn it off. Let me turn off that. Goodbye. I only buy games that contain dragons or untracked characters, and I find all games through word of mouth, such as Steam itself. And the game inspires me to buy it if it is truly special. True. Wait a second. Thanks for letting me know. Yes. Should be better now. You should only hear me once. Wait. Actually, I want to have this here. That should be better. How much? Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hello. There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me as well?
I can indeed. Only in my left speaker, though.
What? Wait a minute. That is not good. Okay, wait a minute. It works on my regular mix, so it might be... It is definitely on my end, I think. Wait a minute. Okay, audio settings.
I don't think...
Oh,
yeah, I haven't changed the balance in OBS on my end, at least.
No, it should be... It is on my end, I think. Audio settings. It says audio settings and video settings, and in the audio settings it says nothing. What about if I do this? Oh, now it works.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Why does noise suppression off turn into mono? What, is that true? Yeah, that's true. And noise suppression on turns me into stereo. I don't know what it is, but I take that. I take that win. So compressor off, auto gain off for Chirpy, so we don't have my echo. So I guess I will leave noise suppression on for you as well, otherwise you are mono.
Testing. Does it sound good?
Yes. We're back? Okay.
Okay, I think I might have doubled you up, but that should be fine now.
Okay.
On my end. Do you have an invite as well? For Twitch, that is?
Oh, yeah. Wait, hang on 1 second. Yes, I do. Wait. Guest einladen. There he is. So this is a little weird. I still cannot find additional control. Ah, there it is. Oh my god, it's in additional controls. Yeah. I'm going to record locally. Start recording.
And I muted you on Twitch as well.
Okay. PCM audio format, I guess. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. I'm waiting for the pop-up here. Just paste it here. Record. Paste it here. Okay. If I think mono should be center, but hey, yeah. Got a collab to mix the chats. So I could argue with Chirpy's chat about series of things. Sure.
Wait, shouldn't that be on now, though?
No, I have not started yet.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, now it is. Now it should be on.
Yeah.
Do we have? Is everything okay? Do you guys hear an echo or anything? Test, whatever. Hello, Chirpy's chat. Yes.
Oida.
Servus, Oida. Oh my god. Wait, where is my... okay. Do I want this? We are good? Okay.
It does seem good on my end, at least.
Okay. Final audio check. Is everything okay? Are we at the same level, guys?
Testing,
no echoes, no nothing. All seems in order. Oh my god.
Is it good on my end as well, guys?
Let me check the pinned message.
Looks good on OBS, at least.
Okay. Well. Audio good for you. Nice. We vibing. Sounding and looking handsome as usual. Okay, how? Wait a minute. Really? When a punky sweetheart. I'm usually watching YouTube. I see you randomly show up as streaming, and this is how I find out you're streaming every time. Oh, well. Okay. Do you want to take it away, MadChirpy?
Yeah, Ivo. Do you want me to... Should I start this one? Did I start last time? Or should we... Fuck it. I can go.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Feature Complete, where we talk about game dev and everything related to it. I'm one of your hosts, MadChirpy.
And I'm Mothership, aka Philip. The topic of today is a very broad topic. We're going to talk about marketing, and then specifically marketing for video games, or indie games, I should say. Now, do we start with the definition again, or do we start with just like how we are currently marketing our video games? What do you think?
I think it's good to maybe start with a rough definition at least, so we're all under the same concept here.
All right. Would you like to start with that?
Sure, I can. I think the first thing I would say is that I actually think marketing is a lot broader than people often give it credit for. I feel like a lot of the time we only really talk about marketing as in promotion, like promotional marketing. But I do think technically the term itself is a lot broader. Now, with that being said, I imagine that we are mainly going to talk about promotional stuff today as well, or like at least a lot of it is going to be. But technically, I think you could argue that marketing begins even before that, with stuff like market research, picking a game that you actually could market, and so on. What do you think about that?
I think so as well. I wanted to touch about both sides of marketing today as well. And wait a minute, do I hear an echo? Was it on my end or was it... Did somebody hear an echo as well or was it just me? I'm just paranoid maybe. Okay, we'll just continue. So I actually wanted to talk about both sides of marketing as well. And I don't know, maybe we should talk about what did you use for Shroud of Gloom, for your game Shroud of Gloom?
I can give a quick overview. I think for me personally, one of the main things I've done, or at least the thing I've done the most consistently, which you could argue is some form of marketing, is definitely streaming on Twitch. Since I have live streamed like the majority of the development of this game. Now, with that being said, I don't think that's like the best form of marketing, to the point where I probably would say if that's your only goal, it's probably not worth it. Because we're talking like still very low numbers in general, compared to what I think you can get out of other stuff. Where as of right now, I have just done like a pretty big marketing push, and that has involved quite a lot of different ventures, I suppose. The main one probably being making a new trailer for the game, as well as a major demo update, and then, promoting that all across social media and whatnot. I've done a fair bit of content creator outreach. I think I reached out to around 100 creators, and I think I reached out to around 40 press outlets as well. So I think those were have been like the biggest things I've done. And then on top of that, I have done some, smaller, just social media posts here and there along the way. But obviously the conversion and so on is, differs a lot throughout all of these. But I think that is like the main things I would say. What about you for your game?
I'm pretty much in the same boat, I would say. I've done some shorts and reels, which was very interesting because one of those I talked about that some people, actually there was a publisher who thought that the cover for my game was AI generated, and it was not AI generated. It was made by a Magic the Gathering artist. Her name is Marcela Boulevard, and so I used this as kind of a topic starter for this reel. And this reel kind of went viral to the point where it got even onto the front page of Reddit. And a co-worker even said, "Wait a minute, I recognize you on the Reddit front page." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So that was kind of interesting. I wanted to bring this up because you were also talking about conversion rates, right? Well, at this point in time, I only had the Steam page up, and also the demo was up as well. But the conversion in wishlists was not really not that big, honestly. Like it was very interesting for having a reel with that many views. It was quite interesting to see this convert slowly. Now, it wasn't really about the game itself, but the game was definitely inside of the game with the title and everything. So people actually knew what this reel was referring to, and they could find it if they wanted to. But I was still glad to have this experience. It was very cool, and I would have still done it, even knowing the outcome of that.
No, but I actually think that has a bigger impact than one might realize. The fact that, as you said, it wasn't like directly about the game, was it?
No, and it's not. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what I've kind of found as well. Like, for example, I had one TikTok that got almost 250,000 views, which I would consider like quite a lot. And that one was similar in the sense of that, like, it also was like indirectly about my game. I was talking about the fact that I had localized the game into European Portuguese, and the fact that I got one of Portugal's like biggest content creators to play the game. And this TikTok ended up doing really well, but that was mainly because of want, right? Because people, like, if you look at the comments, people are not like hyping up my game. They're going like, "Oh, damn, so cool that Want played it," you know? And so I feel like that's where I'm not like, obviously I'm not complaining about getting the exposure, like it's still good. But the conversion rate did end up being really bad. And I think that has something to do with the fact that the game is kind of it's the side point of the entire thing. It's not like the core reason why this popped off, which I think, personally, I think that's the reason why trailers tend to have really good conversion rates if you can manage to get a lot of views on them. because that's one of the few places where, like, if you get traction on it, it will be specifically and directly because of your game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. But I also think that making a short or a reel or whatever you want to call it, specifically as a trailer for your game, isn't gonna work so well. You kind of have to make it. You kind of have to wrap it into the story almost. So the game has to be on the sidelines, because otherwise, people will see an ad coming a mile away. You know, when they open a short and it's like, oh my God, this feels like I'm being sold something, they will just immediately swipe it away.
No, I think that is true. Now, I wasn't specifically referring to your trailer as a short form video. I mean, like, as media in general, like if you get your normal, widescreen trailer to do well on YouTube, I think that, because unfortunately, speaking about short form as well, I think conversion just tends to be worse in general. Like, even if you did have a trailer do really well on TikTok, you can't put your link anywhere. Like, in general, conversion is just going to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
It's what it seems like.
Absolutely. In terms of other things that I did, I also started streaming, but my intent wasn't really marketing focused. I think marketing is a side effect for me for streaming.
I agree.
But for me, it's more about like networking and sharing the game. So maybe people will find some inspiration through it. I guess you can kind of say it's marketing, but streaming in general is maybe even a topic for an entire episode, because streaming is just like helped me in quite a bunch of ways. Also, and then in return, also the game. So I think it was really important decisions that I made. And I also contacted influencers. Now, I did actually write the first 50 emails myself. And then I thankfully found somebody who I could hire here in Austria who did the rest, I don't know, another 200. But let's talk about influencer outreach for just maybe 1 minute or whatever. There is a thing that happens when you write a bunch of influencers. You will get replies. And I would say the replies are usually overwhelmingly asking you for money in terms of coverage. And I have paid some of those. I've paid some of those 4-figure amounts of money. And the return on because I just was very, really curious if this is going to work or not. And the return on that investment, I would say, was about, I don't know, it's I got about 50% of what I invested back in terms of sales. So that is a really tough one, because I think, and I have not tried it yet, but I think maybe Reddit ads will work better, but I'm not really sure. In general, I think if you get a big YouTuber to play your game, it's just it is good for your game, because then maybe people see it again on Steam and they will be like, oh yeah, I remember this game from this or whatever. And they will maybe then purchase it, because there's this rule of 7 in marketing, where if you see something 7 times, you're more likely to buy it, etc.
Yeah, no, I actually think that's a good point in general, where, like, even when stuff doesn't convert, it is valuable to still think of it that way as well. Like, it didn't mean it didn't have a positive impact and that it could convert later on, as you said, like in the way that traditional ads have always worked, as you said, with the rule of 7 and so on.
Yeah, I think I'm still glad that I tried it out, so that I kind of know, or at least that I have a kind of a, I can kind of gauge how these interactions are going to go if I get another offer like this, because then I can say, okay, yeah, at this point in time, I can maybe invest a little bit, but yeah, it is. I think one of the that we talked about was an offer for, and I'm not gonna say who it was or who he got, but an offer was for like a 1 minute ad read, and it was like, I don't know. I think for me, it was even higher than what you had. And it is really hard to justify something like that. Where especially if you have your own YouTube channel, I mean, not as big as mine, but maybe as big as MadChirpy over here. Then it's almost like, yeah, but I can just use my own YouTube channel, and it costs me zero. So yeah, that was a lot of learning, I would say.
So would you consider like paid collaborations on YouTube again as of right now?
The thing is, paid influencer videos, they always have a little bit of a side, as like an aftertaste, a weird aftertaste. Sometimes, so there was one video that I paid the influencer for, and I don't know what it was. It just, they're playing the game because they pay to do it. There's just an inherently bad feeling about it. Like it just, has this thing about the entire video.
I think that does come through at the end of the day, right? Because as you said, if you pay someone to play your game, they're gonna play it because of the money, not necessarily because they want to play the game. And I think an audience can kind of sense that, and I think that affects conversion as well. With that said, like, obviously, I'm not saying that you should, no one should like ever pay YouTubers to play their video games, but I think there are some of these caveats you kind of do need to keep in mind. I also wouldn't be surprised in general if conversion actually is kind of worse than people would first imagine, because I think it's a similar thing a lot of the time where when someone is watching like a YouTube creator play a game, in a lot of cases, your game is still the side product, right? Like most of the YouTubers I watch, I'm not watching them actually for the content in the video. I'm watching them because like, oh, I'm a fan of this YouTuber and they made this video. Like the content of the video often is actually like the side thing in the video in that way.
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree. Absolutely. But yeah, again, some of the videos that were not paid were just inherently a bit more charming in a way, because they really wanted to play this and they were happy to play it by their own accord. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the paid ones are bad. There was one paid one that I was really happy about. That was really, really good. I also had one where he was actually there was kind of a service provided to indie devs where he would also give you like 10 minutes of feedback at the end of the video. That was a good investment, because the game got way better after this. So you have to weigh the consequences, I guess, of each of the offers that you get.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like maybe the paid collaborations make a little bit more sense the more of a marketing budget you have. It's like, for me, in my case, mine is like by industry standards pretty small, right? And like I don't have a lot of money I can directly invest into the game. And for me, I don't know, that's the way I've come to think about it. I feel like it feels riskier for me to put a big part of that budget specifically towards like creators to play the game. Maybe also because it is the thing where I might do other types of ads, say something like Reddit or meta ads. That could indirectly make another creator play the game without me paying them as well, right?
Exactly. That is the thing. But, yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, if you, for example, release your game and then somebody, like a big influencer, plays it just because there is what is it called, social proof out there, maybe because of a big Reddit thread or because I don't know, it is getting some kind of attention, then people are likely going to play it anyways. This is the thing that I always think about now, because if your game gets big somewhere, like a good score on Steam, or somebody recommends it to somebody else, and then the chain keeps going, eventually some big influencer is going to play it anyways, and then it starts this whole other chain reaction.
Yeah, because then other creators say, oh, this guy is playing this game now, maybe I should also jump on that train. And as you said, it can become a bit of a chain reaction.
And that is actually what I've heard. If you I've read the blog posts by, oh my god, what was his name? There's a big indie game dev YouTuber, and basically what he said is that they are all connected. You know, all of the YouTubers are friends. Not all of them, but you know, in this specific circle, maybe the indie dev scene. So even when a new game comes out, they will likely maybe share it on the Discord or talk about it at least. So yeah.
I wonder, maybe one thing we should get into before going too far into the specific strategies one can use and so on, is what would you say in terms of when you should start marketing your game?
That is the good one. So there's a lot of debate about this because some people say, yeah, you should have your Steam page up as soon as you have a pixel on screen. And other people say that, no, you need to have at least, almost finished graphics. So it looks really cool and enticing and, people are actually going to wishlist it. I'm somewhere in between, but so I think it depends on who you are. If you're making your first game, I think talking about a game as soon as possible is a good thing because then you get feedback on your Steam page, you get feedback on your screenshots, and if you're lucky, because then you need to, of course, be active and share it with as many people as you can. But if you are already an established indie dev with an audience, I think it's good to keep it back as long as possible and then maybe, I don't know, announce the project when it is almost finished or at least somewhat finished. I think it really depends on who you are. Or where you are on your journey.
I think you have a point. I don't know if it has to be necessarily almost finished, but I think you need to be able to at least represent what the finished product is going to look and feel like.
Yes, absolutely. No, I've seen some Steam pages that, unfortunately, they've been put out way too early, and I've been doing this as well. Like the first commercial game that I made was Cat in Battle Spirit Guide. And also for a second one, Turn to Mine, I put the Steam pages up way too early, but my idea was that I really love developing out in the open. So this was basically my way of saying, you know what, I have a devlog up, a devlog blog posts and maybe devlog videos and maybe now streaming as well. And I can always direct people to, if you want to wishlist this, here you can. But yeah.
No, I think that makes sense. I think I would relate to that a bit as well. I think I probably published my Steam page a little bit too early as well. Like my first screenshots was literally just screenshots from the Game Jam version of the game. And I think that's enough to be like, yeah, it was probably a bit too early. But I don't know, at the same time, it's a learning experience. As you said, it's my first game. I think it's very likely that I got some other positive outcomes out of publishing it early, So I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think in your case, you had a Game Jam version already, and that was already out, and people played it and they liked it, right? So you had kind of a social proof that what you had in the game was enough for people to make them want to play it. So I guess it still makes sense to have those screenshots on the Steam page. I don't think that was...
still, obviously I didn't get like thousands of wish lists, but I was getting wish lists even back then. So,
No, I think that in your case, I think that was the right decision.
No, I think it might have been.
Yeah. Maybe the other thing that I also did for my game, if you want to go through the list really quickly, is in-person events. For example, I had there was a recent comics event here in Vienna, and I was also at. I also had a booth at GDC in San Francisco, first time in USA, and those events. So some people might say that they're going to these events to get wishlists, but I don't think this is I don't think you should go there to get wishlists. I think the only purpose to go there is to get feedback from players who play your game in front of you, because then you will always see things that you never thought about. This is very valuable, but you should not go there to I don't know, expect more sales or more wish lists, because the numbers, like a physical place does not scale as well as Steam does or any other digital event does. So that is what I wanted to quickly talk about here. Did you have any in-person events for Shroud of Gloom?
I have not. I've never had like a booth somewhere or something like that. So that's not something I have had any experience with. I have been to one event, but that was as a, participant or whatever, not as a showcaser. And I don't know. I think it made sense what you're saying. I feel like it's probably not the place where you're gonna like accumulate a bunch of wish lists. Maybe this is a armchair theory, but maybe another potential outcome could be some form of networking at an event like that.
Absolutely. Networking is like the top priority of these events, I would say. Networking and, of course, getting a lot of feedback. Yeah.
No, I think that seems to make sense, I feel like. That's what I would have expected.
Yeah. No, I'm saying this because I know some people who go to these events and they are like, oh, I only got like 5 wish lists. And I tell them, you don't go to these events to get like 1,000 wish lists. It just cannot work. Like the physical space is very limited. You have maybe a small booth here with 2 square meters. And yeah, even though there are a lot of people maybe attending the event, it's never going to have the reach as maybe a Steam event, which is maybe the next topic. Steam events for marketing are really, really good. There is a newsletter that you can subscribe. It's ran by Chris Zukowski's community, or maybe himself, I don't know. But they regularly send out these events that run on Steam, and then you can just apply for free. Mostly, I think most of them are free. And then it just, it's this hosted event on Steam, and you're part of it. Your game is a part of it, and you will just get wishlists basically for nothing, no effort at all.
Yeah,
do you have any experiences with that?
I have. I've been part of 2 festivals. I don't think in my case neither has had that much of an impact for me, but I think that is due to different reasons. I was initially, when I released my demo, I was in the Horror Fest, like the official Steam Scream Fest. But I personally, I don't think I actually got a lot of traffic out of that. Now, I think there's more factors to that, right? I think back then I had worse caps a lot. I think the demo wasn't as good. My Steam page didn't look as polished. Like, I think I'm not saying that the fest itself isn't good, right? I think I just didn't get that much of an outcome from it. And the second one, which I think actually ends today, is the Monochropoly Festival, which is a festival for like 1-bit games and so on. Once again, though, from looking at my traffic, I have been getting a little bit of traffic from this festival, but it's definitely nothing like major. And once again, I think there's a reason for it. This one in particular was not a featured festival on Steam, which I'm going to assume in general is going to have a lot less traffic compared to something that's going to like pop up on the, front page of Steam, right?
Yeah, sometimes I don't think if Steam changed anything in terms of how these events can appear on the front page, or maybe sometimes less so. I think there was a change about that. I'm not really sure, but I mean, in general, the monochromatic, what was it called? Monochromatic something?
Monochropoly. I think it's a play on Monopoly.
Okay.
Monochropoly, or something like that.
There's I don't know. There are so many. I didn't even realize that there's so many games that fit this specific genre. But yeah, it's I still think that you should try to get in as many Steam events as possible, because at the end of the day, like, how much effort did you have going into this?
It's basically nothing. I applied, it took like 2 minutes. And I think that's maybe the argument for it compared to something like, if your main goal is getting wish lists, then you probably shouldn't do like physical expos and stuff, because not only does it take more time and effort, but most of the time you're going to be paying for it as well. So there's like a monetary investment into it. Whereas a digital showcase on Steam is free and takes 2 minutes to sign up for, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you get maybe 100 wish lists compared to the physical event where you paid, I don't know, 1,000 for a flight, and then, you know, it escalates very quickly. But I would still say that sometimes the experience and the lessons and the feedback you get in in-person events is still, you know, worth a lot.
I think so as well. I think like not every venture one does is always about getting wish lists, right? And as you said, I think that's the way I see Twitch as well. Like the only reason I mentioned streaming as like a marketing thing is because I can't deny the fact that I've gotten wish lists from people who have watched me on Twitch, right? But my intent with streaming is not like I don't start my stream going, damn, today I'm gonna try to get like 20 wish lists through stream. Because like if your main goal is, if all you care about is getting wish lists, you're probably wasting your time streaming. Like there's better things to do to like convert to wish lists. But with that being said, I think it would have been a huge mistake for me to not stream because of all the other factors, such as, you know, finding playtesters, getting feedback, like the immediate feedback from people in chat, getting ideas, and like, you know, people helping me out. I think I've become a far better programmer as a result of streaming as well.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of good things about it, but, you know, getting wishlist is not the big one.
Yeah, you might say that since you now became a better programmer, so the game is better, so maybe you get more wish lists that way. So in the roundabout way.
Indirectly, you could argue it has had a big impact. Absolutely.
Right. And also collabs, which brings me to our next point in terms of marketing. I actually did some collabs for like collaboration with other people, like for example, artists and musicians for Faith in Despair, which I think is, I wouldn't really call it marketing, which, yeah, I just really like working with other people. But if those other people also happen to have an audience, it can kind of count as marketing as well. That is why I still wanted to bring it up. For example, I had a musician work with me who has also a YouTube channel, and also the artist who worked on the cover has a huge following on Instagram, and she also shared the game over there. And that is just, you still, you know, the main focus in working with people should not be any other gain other than really liking to work with these people. But it can also work in that direction. So again, this is you have to make decisions based on what you really, really want to do. And but it is something that can work out for you. There was, for example, the people who made what is it called, Forbidden Solitaire. They were working together with another team who made, you know, they were known for a really cool art style, or at least for cool horror games. And the other one were known for making really cool solitaire games. So they kind of made a collab, and you know, that really helped both of them out. Did you have any collaborations for your game as well, or are you considering any?
I mean, I guess you could say I have, but I don't know if any of them would be anywhere, you know, I get a bunch of exposure from a completely new audience in that way. But I do have a sound designer on my team, and then I've hired, I guess, 2 voice actors, technically. But yeah, I don't know if I would consider any of those as like a direct impact on exposure. Indirectly, of course, because I think it makes the game a lot better and so on.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think maybe a better example of something like that, I would... what's the game that... there's a streamer called Atriarch who was part on the team of making a game. Yes. Get to Work, I think it's called. If
something
I'm not
like that, yeah. It was a guy on 4, what is it, roller skates.
Down on all fours, going, a very interesting mechanic. But in that game, they had what, like 5 or 6 different like big streamers and content creators voice act in the game. And that type of collaboration, I think, could bring quite a lot of exposure. Really, am I right?
That's true, yes. I think that was actually what the game developer Thomas Brush also advised to do. He would just say, reach out to these influencers and, tell them, hey, you know what, you want to be in my game? And if they agree, then, they will be maybe happy to be in a game. Maybe you give them a cheat code and the main character turns into the YouTuber, the same hairstyle or something like that. And then they might just share them out of, their own will. There's no.
I do think it's probably fair to say that that's a much harder venture to take. Like if you are a unknown developer without any following, just cold emailing a massive YouTuber. Like if you reach out to PewDiePie and say, hey, I want you to voice act in my game, the chance of that actually working out is probably not very big. But as you said, I think if you can get that to work, then I think that could be a really good outcome from it. But what do you think? So we didn't mention festivals, which I think is a big one. But what do you think for like the general developer, the general indie game developer? What do you think is the best ways for those to, get more attention on the game, accumulate more wish lists?
Honestly, so, I, like many other people, have investigated marketing, and we all start to read these blogs and start to watch the videos, and then we stumble upon Chris Zukowski's blog.
Yeah.
And at one point, dude, I remember this moment so well. He just had one sentence deep in one of his blog entries, and it said, 80% of your marketing is your game. And I was just like in shock. I'm like, oh my God, how it is so obvious. It is so obvious, but I still, I had to be hit on the forehead with it. It's kind of this thing, right? And then it's like, oh my God, everything is completely void of marketing effort if your game just sucks. And so, and this is where it gets really interesting, because you also mentioned the other side of marketing, right? Where it's not just, influencers and talking about it, and et cetera, but maybe also the product itself is a huge part of it. And when should you start marketing? Well, you also said it earlier. You maybe need to start marketing your game by making the decision of what genre it is in, like what kind of target audience you have. Because, and here's the thing, a lot of people say that, when you say the term marketing, they kind of wins, and they're like, they get this almost psychic damage from the word. It's like, well, in principle, marketing is something really, really good, because you're doing people a service. Imagine you're a Final Fantasy fan and you want to know more about the next Final Fantasy. Don't you want to see those Final Fantasy ads to know about the game, right? This is something good, actually. But if somebody doesn't like the term marketing, I think it's because, and this might be a little rough, but maybe it's because the game isn't isn't something they like talking about, because it's maybe not there yet, Imagine being the guy who can tell everybody about the next Final Fantasy. This guy loves marketing.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is a good point.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah.
And I think that's the thing as well. The better your game is, or the easier your game is to sell, so to speak, the easier the marketing is going to be. And thus, you are probably more likely to enjoy it. Like, for example, if you're making a game that's incredibly difficult to even explain in the first place, like if you can't in one sentence explain what your game is, then it's going to be very tedious and hard to market that game, right? And I think, by from that, you are probably not going to enjoy marketing as much either. Now, I do still think there are certain parts of at least promotional marketing that is, tedious and not very fun compared to like actually working on the game. I have, like, just today, I think I sent out another 50 emails or so. I do admit that is not like the most enjoyable aspect of game development. But I also think that it's, for me personally, it's one of those things where I guess I kind of just, I raise my shoulders and go, it's just what I have to do. It's part of the gig, right? So it's not like I hate it either. Like, I understand that it's something I need to do if I want to improve the chances of my game doing well.
Yeah, no, and I think it is worth it because all your effort into reaching out and telling people about it will result in that one person who just really, really likes the game and will be really happy to hear about it. They will, I've seen it in your trailer as well. In the YouTube trailer in the comment section where people are like, "Oh my god, this looks so good." They're happy to have heard about it. So I think in sending all of these messages out, we just got to remind ourselves that for someone, this game will be like, one of the things that you really are happy about today to have seen.
No, yeah, I think that's true. And if anything, that should be quite the motivation as well, right? Like, sometimes it can actually have a big impact to just get 1 or 2 new people interested in your game. Even looking, further than just from like a financial perspective or whatever it might be. Like, as a creative venture, it's a very rewarding thing to see someone be excited or to enjoy a product you have made. And I think there's value to that, even if it's not like, oh, I got 10,000 copies sold because of it.
Yeah. So the question was, what I think is the most important thing in terms of marketing for your game, right? I think, and I'm actually still learning this. Let's be honest. I've not made a 1 million game selling, a million seller yet. I'm planning on doing it, as everybody does. But I think, picking, this is so weird to say, but you have to, as you said, actually, you have to be able to describe your game in one sentence. And you kind of have to test this sentence with a lot of people. Like, for example, if you go to a game dev meetup, then people ask, "Hey, what are you working on?" And then you tell them the sentence, and you just need to see how they react. Are they having fun? Are they confused? And I think this is one of the things. Like, work on your elevator pitch, and it's just really from the beginning of making the game. I know this sounds so against anything creative, really, because even sometimes you just want to sit down and make something. But if you really want to, I don't know, want to make this as a full-time gig, I think it really doesn't hurt to research a little bit, research the target audience that you want to serve, and then start your game from this point of view. I don't know, but what do you think? What is the most important thing?
First of all, to what you said, I think I think all of that makes a lot of sense. And I think maybe one thing that's good to point out is that if you are not pursuing this with some like commercial aspirations, or you're not trying to turn this into a full-time gig, and you absolutely hate marketing, that doesn't matter. Then don't do it. Like, if you don't have any commercial aspirations, well, then it doesn't matter. Like, it's fine to do game development just for fun as well, right? So I think that's something that, maybe doesn't hurt to state either. But I do think that if you have some commercial aspirations, or you want to turn this into like a full-time gig or something, then, as you said, I think it is very important to start thinking about marketing early, even to the point where, like, I think it should be in your mind at least, even when you start brainstorming the idea for your game. Like, because you do need that thing that's clearly explained, it can be packaged nicely, and so on. That is one of the, it's the foundation for the rest of your marketing at the end of the day. But in terms of what I think is the best, the best strategy for indie game developers to get the game out there, I think one that we probably haven't mentioned that I think might be one of the biggest impacts is probably making a good demo for the game.
Oh, true.
Since that is something that definitely can give you a lot more exposure on the platform, on like Steam, for example. you can now have the demo in any future festivals and so on. It can give you a new marketing push where you can do like a demo trailer. It's one more place where you can reach out to creators to be like, oh, do you want to try the demo, etc. Like, I think you can get quite a lot out of making a demo, and it's probably maybe one of the easier ones to get some traction on. Like, I released my demo quite a while ago. I don't think the first version of it actually was that good, and to this day, it is still one of my like biggest peaks in wish lists. And it's not until now when I released a new trailer, which is almost a full year later. This is the first time I actually surpassed the peak of my initial demo release.
Damn, okay.
So I do think making a good demo, and then as we mentioned as well with like festivals and so on, I think is probably one of the better ways for small indie game developers to get some traction on the game. And of course there's a lot of other things you can try, but I think in general other things tend to have a bit worse conversion. It takes more work for potentially less results.
Here's one thing that the creator of Choo Choo Charles thought of. He, and I think this is really important, he thought about the trailer for the game first, basically. So he thought about trailer moments that need to be in the game so that you have a really badass trailer. I think that's one way, but it is, I don't know, you have to be really careful with this, because I think you're getting further and further away from actually having fun making a game and thinking more and more about the optimum way of making like a lot of money out of this. I think so, but I still think having these trailer moments, maybe just sit down and be like, okay, what are 5 moments that would be really, really cool in the trailer, so that the trailer, pops off a little bit, that I can add to my game. I think this is not a bad thing to do.
I don't think so either. I think I did this to some extent as well, where the intro pan for across the mana in my game. That's the intro cutscene when you like arrive at the mana in game. But the reason I made it initially was because I realized that I probably wanted at least one slightly more cinematic shot in the trailer. So that was the initial idea for why I wanted to make it. And then it's like, oh, I might as well put this into the game. Now, to be clear, I do think it fits the game, and I do think it increases the value of the game, but I'm very much aware of the fact that I initially made it for the trailer. So I think there is some, as you said, I think there can be some value to thinking about stuff in that way. I relate to it a lot with, maybe more so actually, with YouTube videos in general. Like, I've been making YouTube videos longer than I've been making games. And that, I would say, it's similar to me, where even the way I think about ideas for YouTube videos quite literally go hand in hand with a good title and a good thumbnail.
Sure.
Like, that's why I try to think of what could be a good title and a good thumbnail, and then, after which I start thinking about, okay, how would I make the video? So, because it's the thing where, like, you could have the best game, or in this case, YouTube video ever, but if the thumbnail and the title sucks, no one's gonna click it.
That's a good point, yeah.
Unfortunate truth.
I mean, that goes to the next point then. Naming your game.
Yeah. I think that's I think it's easy to underestimate the importance of picking the title for the game as well.
Yes. And of course, then also the cover for your game. Those two things are actually, I think, the same as a YouTube thumbnail and YouTube title. I mean, of course, it is kind of obvious.
No, it's definitely the direct equivalent. And as you said, I think it's the same thing again, where if you have a weird title that no one can pronounce, and if you just have a I don't know, just the title, no background or anything as your capsule art, you're probably not going to get a lot of traction. So I think that is quite important. How much How much? But that must be something you thought of your title later on, right? Because your title, interestingly, something I noticed, is very much tied to game mechanics in your game.
Oh, yeah. So the game is called Faith in Despair, true. I chose this name because originally I wanted to have, I don't know where to go with this, but originally I wanted to have a name that, so in my previous games, I always had these weird mashup of words. For example, I had a game called Tournament, where you turn things, and I don't know, it sounded kind of cool, but if you see the word, it looks like a typo. So I wanted to avoid this. I thought, you know what? For this game, I'm gonna have just words that actually exist, as strange as it sounds, and then make some kind of a weird contrasty decision, like faith and despair. So these is two words that have a high contrast between them. And so my hope was that this contrast would kind of evoke something in you, or at least get a little bit of your interest. And originally it was called Faith and Despair. And then my game dev friend said, well, then it says FAD, which is just a fad. And I'm like, oh shit. Then I called it Faith in Despair, because Faith is the main character's name as well. And she is in despair. So it kind of worked for the game. Yeah. It caused a bit of confusion further down the line. Some people still called it Faith and Despair. Some said Faith of Despair. So it was not the best title as well. But yes, as you said, both of these words are the main mechanics of the game, which was not in the beginning either. In the beginning, you had health and mana.
Oh, interesting.
But at some point, I was like, wait a minute, I can use faith as the the HP of the main character, and then despair as this overarching mechanic that kind of plays against you. So it kind of informed both sides. The name informed the game, and the game also informed the name. So
I
like
see.
that.
Interesting. But to be fair, I still think it's a quite good title. I mean, it sounds good.
How was it for Shroud of Gloom, though?
For my game, Shroud of Gloom, it was definitely more of a trying to describe the mechanics of the game. Now, once again, this is slightly ironic because my game has changed a lot, so it doesn't actually do it as well anymore. But as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I think, the game was originally made for Game Jam, where the theme was Safe in the Dark. So the title, I sat down and was like, wait, I actually need a title for the game. And the way I did it was literally just, looking at the different synonyms, trying to find something that sounded kind of cool, and I explained it. So, I think it stems from something like, I started with something like Hidden in Darkness, or Hidden in the Dark, or Covered by Dark. And then, by browsing through different synonyms and stuff, I ended up with Shroud of Gloom, which I think sounded a little bit more fancy or whatever. Now, to be clear, I still don't think I actually don't think it's the best title. I kind of regret it in hindsight, but personally, I feel like I'm a little bit in too deep, so I'm kind of like, screw it. I just have to roll with this now.
At some point you have to stick with it. It is what it is.
After some amount of like marketing attempts and whatnot, it feels like it's a bit late to start like rebranding the entire game now. But in hindsight, I would say I don't know. Just the thing is, I think the title is kind of cool and like visually looks kind of cool, but it is the main thing I don't like about it is that it is like a little bit tricky to say, or like it doesn't have the best flow to it. And the words, both of which, like Shroud and Gloom, are like fairly uncommon words compared to if I would have called the game something like, I don't know, The Manor of Despair, which is something that's like, or something like that.
There's a lot the name of our bundle.
I've noticed, yeah, exactly. I've noticed a lot of these similar games will actually have straight up like have the word manor in them or mansion or something like that. And at times I have been thinking like, maybe I should have gone with something like that, or one of these fancy like one word titles. But I don't like, it's not something I stress about too much either. Like, I don't think my title is bad, but I think it could have been better.
Yeah, but again, the name is, I think, a big one for marketing a game. Absolutely. And again, I wanted to,
I think having it actually represent the game is important. Same with the capsule. I think that's sometimes we get a bit of tunnel vision on getting names that sound cool or a capsule that looks cool, but I think both of those are in vain if it doesn't align with the game you're making.
Yeah.
There's something about having your name called Euro Truck Simulator and having a big truck on the capsule. Like, it very obviously explains what the game is, right?
Yeah, that is just, good marketing. I mean, a good product, I would say, because you get exactly what you see. It's I mean, that is a big one. Setting the correct expectations is a huge one for marketing or for a video game in general.
Yeah, just I think it's one of those things where, similar to what we said before, if your title and your capsule is straight up bad and nobody clicks on it, then anything you do with the game is kind of in vain. But I would say it goes a little bit similarly as well, where if your title and capsule attract the completely wrong audience or people who are expecting a completely different game, then it's not really an advantage to you, even if it looks and sounds cool, because you might get people to click on it, but if they're not in your target audience, they're probably not going to wishlist the game, they're probably not going to buy it, and that's going to have a negative impact at the end of the day.
Exactly. I mean, Face in Despair should probably not be a fairy simulator. So yeah. But again, I wanted to repeat what we said earlier about I think you still need to be very careful not to put too much emphasis on picking the perfect name and picking the perfect thumbnail before you even have a game. I think because, especially when you have already made one or two games, I think there's a trap that you can fall into where you're like, now I know everything and I can make the perfect game right from the beginning with the perfect, thumbnail and perfect title, and then I will make the game. And also, think about trailer moments again before you even start placing a block, placing a cube.
I guess there's a balance to it, right? Where maybe the way one should put it is that all of this could be good and it could have a positive impact on the development of your game, as long as the game, the product itself, doesn't actually suffer from it. Like, making these cool trailer moments is maybe really good for the trailer, but if that moment itself actually has a negative impact on the game you're making, like the pacing or the progress, the story or whatever, then it probably isn't worth it.
I agree, yes. And I think you need to always remember, I think you need to make a game where your taste also aligns with it. So you don't need to, maybe you want to, make the next Vampire Survivors clone or something like that, but you actually really hate playing Vampire Survivor games. Maybe you shouldn't do it, even if it would make like monetary sense or a marketing sense, because then maybe it's easier to market. It's probably not, but it's just an example. I think you still need to, even when thinking of potential hit names and hit trailer moments and everything like that, you still need to remind yourself every now and then of what are your tastes. Like, what kind of game would you like to see? I think this is...
I'm sorry, I'm kind of smiling here. I think this is one of my controversial takes.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
I actually don't fully agree. I know it's a very common sentiment, the fact that you should be making a game that you yourself want to play. Personally, I'm not really doing that. Before I started making Shroud of Gloom, I don't really like horror games, mainly because I'm a massive coward. I'm not really a horror game player. I have also pretty much not played any proper like point and click games before I started making this game. Like looking at the genre and so on of my game, it makes no sense whatsoever why I am making this game. Now, with that being said, I do think there are some caveats to it where it's hard. Like at the same time, it's not like I don't like my game, and it's not like I don't think my game is good, right? Because I think it would be very hard for me to work on a game that I legitimately just think this is a bad game. In my case, I almost feel like I more so throughout the development, I kind of grew to like my game. And that even goes with the genres as well, where I would say that now I am a fan of point and click games because like the main disadvantage, because I do think it's fair to say that there are disadvantages about making a game that you're not the stereotypical fan of. And I think one of those is the fact that I had to do a lot more like research on the genres, right? Because I wasn't as well versed with like how point and click adventures tend to work and like what people expect and so on. So one of the things I had to do was I need to start playing a bunch of point and click adventures so I can get like an idea of what people tend to like in these games. And now, ironically, that actually made me realize that, you know what, I actually quite like these games. So I guess you could argue now that I am making a game that I would enjoy, but at the same time, it wasn't when I started making it. So I don't know. I think the way I see it is, and I don't know, maybe I'm the weirdo in this situation, but I think I love game development so much. Like I really enjoy like the creative aspect of it and the act of building games itself. That I don't think for me, I don't feel like I actually have to be the target audience of my game to still enjoy making it. And I think that how do I say that without sounding like a knob? I think I'm a very detail-oriented person, and I'm very much of a perfectionist and stuff, which can have some negative aspects as well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional, but I'm kind of somewhat confident that I can make a decent game even in a genre that I'm not like a huge fan of.
No, I would agree. But you still have a taste in video games, isn't that right?
Yes. I think that's fair to say. Like, because obviously I'm still like trying to make something that is a good game and that, you know, the target audience would enjoy and so on. And I put a lot of time and effort into making sure that the game does turn out as good as possible. So I definitely think that has to be clear, when I say this, I do think there's like a lot of caveats to it. But I think it's very common to go as far as to just say that you should never make a game in a genre that you don't like. That I don't necessarily agree with. I think there can be moments where like going outside of your comfort zone or trying something new, even if it's not like your personal dream game, can be a valuable experience and even turn out as a good game. Because in my case, like I said, you know, I might be biased, I might be delusional, who knows? But I think my game is really good, even though this wasn't my dream game, you know. It wasn't the game I was hoping to find myself to be able to play. It was just the game I ended up making.
Yeah, no, I agree with that when you enjoy the process of crafting the game, I think there is a good thing still, because then you can still find motivation through that. If you didn't even enjoy the process, then that would be a disaster, a recipe for burnout, I would say.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why it can be good as a general guideline to say that you should make a game that you would like to play, because I do assume that for most people that inherently means you are going to enjoy it more. Like that, I think is probably a fair take, but I think there are exceptions to the rule. where you can make a game that you yourself maybe wouldn't even play. But as long as you have like the passion and you put in the love into the game that it deserves, I think it still can turn out to be a good game.
And again, I wanna say that you have a game sense and a taste in video games. So I still think that the outcome, like the way the game turned out, is kind of representing what you like. So because you said you don't like horror games, but you do like Dark Souls, which has horror elements. Yeah. So you can say that maybe Shroud of Gloom exists because of your...
No, that's probably fair. And there's also a lot of things in the game which are which have some form of direct correlation with my own likes and my own taste in video games. Even taking Dark Souls as an example, I think there's more inspiration from Dark Souls in my game than people would realize. Because obviously the game is very different to Dark Souls. Like, no one would look at my game and go, oh yeah, that's kind of like Dark Souls. And for anyone who doesn't know, Dark Souls personally is one of my favorite games, specifically the first one. And I think for me, even the way I designed the layout, like the level design in my game, is directly inspired by Dark Souls. Where I think in Dark Souls 1, one of the things I really love about that game is how like interconnected the world feels. Even though it's kind of small and it's not like a true open world game per se, there's just like so many moments where you as the player will go, oh shit, I'm back here again. Or like you realize that the world like interconnects and so on, and you find these new shortcuts here and there. And this was something that I took a lot of inspiration from, where I tried to create a lot of those moments where the player could go, oh, damn, I'm back here again. Oh, this connected to this place, and so on. And it's not something that maybe is super noticeable just watching like a trailer on the game, but yeah, I do suppose in that regard, I've still taken a lot of things that I personally liked and put into this game, even if maybe the genre itself wasn't that thing. That makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. So picking the genre might be a good choice for marketing, as we said, and you can still make a game outside of the genres that you like and maybe see where it goes. But we have also kind of reached the 60-minute mark. What do you say? I think this was a good episode.
I think so as well. I think we got through quite a lot of this. I think we got a broad overview of marketing, because as we said, this topic is so broad that we're probably going to do more episodes on this, maybe do some deep dives in the future and whatnot. But I think as a general overview, we've done quite well.
Yeah, I would say so as well, yes.
Yeah. So shall we end it here then?
Yep, let's end it. Send us to the finish line.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Feature Complete, where we talk about game dev and everything related to it.
Yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks. And until then, everybody have a nice and a good time.
Sounds good. Bye-bye, guys.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Chirpy. Goodbye, Chat. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out.
Thank you. Cheers.
See you. All right. Super enjoyable episode. Thank you. 1 second. And cut. Scene 1. No. 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 No, not take 2. No. Wait 1 second. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We are going to check out Faith in Despair. Everybody having a good time. Fox Quest, great episode. Okay. Picnicking in a situation where a trailer needs to be made, as well as perhaps probably devlogs. It's a lot to start marketing again, but I don't know how to start. That is a good question. So how to start is always going to depend on where you are in your game dev journey. And if you're at the beginning, I think your focus needs to be to learn about what makes a good game. I think this needs to be a focus. Forget about marketing. Forget everything about, telling other people or about the game or telling, making Instagram reels, making YouTube videos. I think you need to go back to the starting point and learn about what makes a good game. You need to learn a bit about color theory. You need to learn about you need to learn about dopamine, about human psychology, why people play games. This is very important. You need to learn a little bit about human instincts and stuff like that. So, because then I think you can make better games. I think if you have at the beginning of this, marketing should be the last thing about what you need to worry about. Maybe you start worrying about marketing when you're, past the first 1 or 2 games. But yeah, I think I hope this helps you picnicking. The engineer mindset creates a solution. The business mindset explains why the solution matters. All right. Run things should live. Yes, Barry and Core. That was a good website. Building a product and explaining a product are 2 completely different skills. That's true. That's true. As an indie game dev, you kind of have to wear both hats, which is a bit straining. But if you can find somebody that you can collaborate with, for example, I found somebody who could help me with emails and who could help me with the Steam page description and things like that, then I know people are probably not in the chat anymore. I'm just reading them out anyways. For anybody else who is still here. Game dev, okay. You must believe in the button to make it work. Okay. You always pay for reach, so picking the right influence audience is more important for conversion. True. I do have I had one bigger one that I think was a good choice, even after everything, after the dust settled, but it was still a lot. Yeah, Audio United for the Destino before images, true. I just think if you're talking about indie games, a lot of the best games just don't need it, or it is done late. Exactly, this is what I meant earlier when I talked to Picnicking. You need to think about what makes the game really, really good. There's a lot of nuances, there are a lot of things that you can learn about. You can also study existing games. Really sit down while playing a game that is really successful and just make notes of the tiny little details and really, really study it. That can also help you. No stereo on Steam, by the way? Yeah, that is on purpose. That is on purpose. I froze for a second. Nice. I'm usually watching you, but I will see you randomly show up streaming. This is okay. We have gone through a chat. All right. Today we're going to talk a bit about where Faith in Despair is going next. I think I'm going to take a look at Trello. Trello is pretty okay. We only have 1 bug out of the hotfix that we pushed last time. And I think what I'm going to do for the next hour or so is I'm just going to sit down and figure out where to go next. Because either I try to make the iOS port now. Camera position, thank you very much. Either do the iOS port now, or I do it later. But first, I need to take a break, so I'm gonna be right back. All right. So, Unity is still... Oh, wait a minute, wait. 1 second, guys. Yo, we just hit a new record. Oh my god. Wow. 40.1 degrees. We officially reached a new record. That's crazy. Oh my god. New record reached in Vienna, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my fucking god. That's incredible. I don't know if this is something to celebrate or not, but here we are. I like that they have the Medea Portal split in the in the photo here, because everybody has this now. This is like the Vienna, Australia, yeah. No, this is crazy. You know, this is like the one of the times where you could say, I don't wanna be part of these historical events anymore. It's fine. I'm done. I am officially done. All right. You guys are doing okay? How was the episode? I think it was okay. I think it was good. I think we got some cool points across. Next one is going to be in 2 weeks. And until then, we're gonna do more game dev. That's right. So I'm at a crossroads with Faith and Despair, because I have a few things on my mind. So there don't seem to be any remaining bugs. There's this one bug that maybe we can take a look at now, but it probably... Yeah, okay, it probably doesn't need a hotfix, it's fine. So if it stays like that, if we don't have any more bugs, then we can think of doing 2 things. And this is really exciting. This is really exciting. First of all, we can now implement the EXP system that we have already begun implementing. And we can also start making the new starter deck, which is Worshipper. We can start making Redacted, or or we can think of the iOS port. This is the crossroads that I'm facing right now. I have a couple ideas in terms of editing of the podcast going forward. I will send you a message. All right. Redacted. So this is where I am right now. And I kinda... So let's look at the timeline. The timeline is this. We have August. And the winter sale is Steam Winter Sale. Is on December the 17th. Okay? December 17th. Winter sale. So we have around... What is that? How many months is that? Around 3 months? Almost 4 months. So let's say we have around 3 months. Okay, that is actually a lot. Not we have 3 moths. Okay, we have 3 big moths, and using those we can make a new version. So my time estimate is that this is going to take around a week. And I say a week in terms of 3 streams, okay? 3 streams. The new starter deck is going to take at least a month. And this one as well. Which is, you know, it's perfectly aligned with the time that we have left until the winter sale. Now, the winter sale starts in December, but I would say public beta should start at around November 15th. So I'm still saying that we have a lot of time left. Now the iOS port is highly variable. I have no fucking idea how long this is gonna take. This could take, the experience sounds like the easiest of them all. Yes, mainly because we have already implemented the system, and so we just need to connect the rewards to it. And then we need to balance it. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but it's, you know, just a little bit of work. But the iOS port, I actually have no idea. So the Android port, the Android port was relatively easy. It was basically a button press. It was relatively easy. So maybe this is the same. And it might be worth investigating now and then keep updating it. This is where I'm at right now. I feel like getting an iOS port out now would be really good, because we have been I think actually, you know what, I think this would be really good, because then we just had a big update and we don't want an iOS release after winter sale, because right now the game is tested really well and relatively bug free. There are still some bugs, of course. Nobody's perfect. So, but if we do it after the winter sale, then that means I would have to have the iOS port almost at the same time as I'm handing off the game to the console porting partner. And doing it the same time as the console port is probably not a good idea. The problem with the console port, so down here after the 3 months, in 2027, I probably will send it out in March to console porting partner. That is the time frame that we have. It could still be later, but the problem is if I need to make changes here, if iOS needs changes here, I cannot, and this is the problem, I cannot update the console port anymore. Can't update console port. It might not matter for the iOS port, but I feel like maybe I'm making too much of a deal about it, because it is already out on Android, right? And on Android it runs. It's, you know, the button presses are okay, everything is okay. So maybe it will be okay on iOS as well. Yeah, but I think what we've determined now is that now is a better time to put the iOS port out instead of later. Because, so in terms of plan, figure out what to do for iOS port, and I have already looked into it. Basically, you need an Apple account that costs €100 per year or something like that. And then you need to set up a developer account, and the big one, the biggest one, it needs to first of all compile and be accepted on the Apple Store. Okay, this is a big one, because I have Unity 2022.3.62 F2, and I'm actually gonna look into that right now. I don't know what the minimum amount of the minimum Unity version is on iOS Apple Store. What is the minimum version, Unity version, allowed on Apple Store? That is the biggest one, because if I have to upgrade, They enforce a minimum of Xcode and iOS SDK versions, such as... Okay, but... Oh, here we go. Hello processor chaos. How is the chaos doing? What are some caveats that iOS pod can introduce? This is what I'm currently trying to figure out. One of the caveats could be that I have to upgrade the Unity version, which is... That could be a big problem, because you never know how Unity reacts between the versions. You have Xcode version support, which is Xcode version 15.5, 15 plus. I think this is already... I think we are... Oh shit. Okay, player settings. I think we're already using that. Let's see if I can find it. This is... Okay, we're using Android 15. This is not Xcode. Xcode is something entirely different. Good to know. Very good to know. Okay. Well, let's see. What is... Just back from a cottage with no running water. All that work carrying wood and water did good for me. Nature, oh my god. Processor chaos. That sounds so good. Once again, I have to repeat the sentence that I read recently. It was, we used to go to the internet to escape from reality, and now we go to reality to escape from the internet. And I think this is what you did, right? Processor chaos. That sounds like a really, really cool vacation, or at least a trip. Now, having no running water, so what did you have for drinking? What did you drink? Now, how do I figure this out? Target OS version string, learn about the system requirements. This is Unity 6. Oh shit. You know what? I'm gonna ask Gemini. Gemini, help me out. Help a brother out. Hi. I am using Unity 2022.62F2. Can I put my game on iOS without issues? Let's see what it says. Dude, I want to be in a cottage with no running water. Just carrying wood and water. Oh, you did actually carry water. I just read it again. Lighting a sauna with real wood and using it to warm water was real life. Wow. It's like Minecraft in real life. That was for bathing. Ah, okay. For drinking, I had to fetch it from a national park water place using a small barrel. Washing water from rainwater. That is so cool. How long was that excursion, that adventure? Wait. It says Unity, an updated main patch of long-term support stream. Okay, we are on the long-term support stream. Nice. It's fully capable of targeted publishing to iOS without native engine compatibility issues. Depends on a few technical prerequisites. Unity does not compile directly to an IPA file. That's okay. It generates an Xcode project. You must run the build on a Mac with Xcode installed to sign and assemble the final app package. Okay. Windows workaround. Okay, this is okay. I have a Mac for this. This is fine. Apple developer account. Yes, it's $100 a year. Yes, that's good. Ensure iOS support module is installed for version, etc., which can be installed using the add modules. Okay. iOS. Let's go to Unity Hub. Let's just install it and see how it goes. You spent 9 days IRL Minecraft. What? That's crazy. 9 days IRL Minecraft. Sounds really cool. Now back to the Stitcher bullshit. Dude, every time... Okay, there's one story here, because I had civilian service once, you know, as every Austrian male has to do. Either you pick up a gun or you say, you know, I don't want to pick up a gun, and you will do civilian services. And I was in a rehab center for 6 months. Was it 9 or 6? I think it was 6. And, you know, for half a year, I was dealing with people. And it was kind of, you know, so many stories in this half year alone that I could probably write a book about. I'm so mad about myself because I kind of stopped writing diary entries during this time because I was so overworked and tired all the time. But when I got back to web development after this half year, I was so confused. I was like, why is everybody sitting in silence in front of their computer monitors? This is so weird. And I just came back from, you know, dealing with actual people who are going through hardships and illnesses, and, you know, trying to rehab to regain the strength, and here everybody is just sitting in front of the monitors, in front of 3 monitors, just silently, you know, hacking away on the keyboards. And it was such a whiplash. It was so crazy that for a second, the first week, I was like, dude, I have to do something with people again. But, you know, after a week, it was fine. After a week, I'm okay again. It's fine. I can sit in front of monitors again. It's okay. Nothing bad about that. I was made for this. The narrator says, I was not made for this. He was, in fact, not made for this. His body is slowly falling apart. I feel that strange coming to the city after this. Exactly. Yeah, the feeling of we live life totally wrong, apparently, yes. It is a strange one. I mean, you know, you're set in your routines, and you just go through the flow every day. And then you have one experience or one trip somewhere. And it's like, wait a minute. And that sets everything in contrast, or everything in context, in a new context. And then you're sitting there and you're like, wait a minute, I've been sitting on my ass for 30 years typing on a piece of plastic. What am I doing with my life? We have officially reached the existential crisis part of the stream. So we are going to install iOS build support, which I think is might be the only thing that we need to install here. That seems good. Editor will need to be restarted to load any newly installed modules. That sounds good to me. Do everything you need, Unity. Do everything you want to do. New perspective. Yes, exactly. Even just the mini trip we had recently to Oslo, it was so cool to see all of these really fit people walking around and swimming in the river. Matrixon, so rely on those ports while AI runs things. Yes, that is yeah, that is probably where we headed. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just on the phones nowadays, so yeah. I recently, you know, researched into what the best time is to post an Instagram short, an Instagram reel or a YouTube short, and a TikTok. And yes, we talked about this, and we also came to the conclusion that there's no right time really, or whatever. But what I found so interesting is that the research said to me that, yeah, this is a usual time where people are on the phones. For example, on the weekends, people try to have a long session on the couch. And it's like, that's great. Thanks. It kind of, I don't know, it is just so weird. Yeah, do you really want to have do you want to sit down and have a 4-hour doom scrolling session? But I guess some people really want to do that. It's just kind of sad, you know. I would much rather have more people have the experience of processor chaos, where they have to get their own water every day and think about how to survive. I think that would help us out more collectively. But maybe not. I don't know. So this is being completed. We are about to install the iOS support thingy. And apparently Unity is supported, right? Apparently Unity, like my Unity version, is alright. Installs, add modules, yes. Common iOS checklist in Unity. Okay, let's go through it. That is not the future, unfortunately, so just have to soldier on. Let's go. Yes. I don't know what the future is gonna be. You know when you sometimes see buildings from the 1800s here in Vienna? And I always... So we live in a building, like this house, this apartment, is in a building from 1853. And there's a sign in the entrance area that says this house used to house this company from 1853 to 1986 or something like that. And it just, I don't know, it just feels so cool to be in a building where there used to be so much, I don't know, so many people with dreams, and you know, there's this company and everybody was hustling and working for this thing. And now it's no longer here, and now I'm just sitting here streaming. It's just so weird. This is so weird. We used to dance, sing, Stargaze and Bond. Now we just stare at the screen until we fall asleep, only to repeat all of this tomorrow. Exactly. Yeah, I try to very consciously be use my screens less on Sundays. So every time, you know, I wake up on Sunday, I instead of being on my phone the first thing in the morning and checking something, I try to maybe just sit here or draw something, or I don't know, play the piano or something like that. But yeah, all the other days are screwed. All the other days are screwed. There is something that my mother always said. Du hast schon ganz kastlige Augen. This is what my mom said whenever I was staring at the screen for too long. And it basically says you have very squarey eyes already. So it basically means like your eyes already look like 2 television sets. And that was her way of saying, stop it. But did I ever stop? No. I always found a way around it. Honestly, as soon as there was a computer in my room, it was over. Like there was no way I would go back to a normal life. Okay. Edit project settings, player iOS tab, and set a valid reverse DNS string. Excuse me, what? Target OS version. Ensure your minimum target OS version matches your app's dependencies. Typically iOS 12 or higher. What is the latest iOS version? Does anybody know? What is the latest iOS version? Wait. Allgemein. Info. iOS 26? And the minimum is iOS 12. Okay. Wow, that goes back a long time. Yeah, apparently. Sam Altman just posted about parenting your children with AI. It became news because of the dystopia vibes. Dude, no. Did he really? Wow. Yeah, no, that's bad. I mean, we talk about AI here a lot. But, my God. Imagine being parented by Gemini. Holy crap. Or by ChatGPT. Daddy. No, who wants to have that? No, I don't want to have a Daddy. Sure not. On the other hand, if my parents don't even want to play with me, maybe Daddy is better. I don't know. Daddy GPT. Daddy and mommy GPT are here for you always, 24/7. He has financial interest in saying this. I'm sure he himself doesn't actually do it. Probably no. He has maids that he pays to raise his children. So this is yeah. He doesn't need a ChatGPT. Daddy GPT. Sam wants it. That's crazy. Yeah, I think there's definitely. So here's what is currently happening. People are now realizing that social media is bad for humanity, so they are trying to ban it, or at least make it so that teenagers don't get access to it, which is completely backfiring. It's not working at the moment, but at least there's an awareness. Do you think there comes a point in the future where we will not allow AI usage for underage people? Because it is like, imagine if you have a child that is raised on ChatGPT. This is just an example. We're not probably going to use ChatGPT for much longer. We're going to use DeepSeek. Let's be honest. If a child is raised by any of the LLMs, how will it ever understand that there can be different opinions? And this is already happening. Like, people are already raising the children, by making sure that they never cry, so their opinion is always true, basically, because the parents are sick of parenting. Understandably so, maybe. But is there ever going to be a time where you guys think AI is not going to be allowed for underage people? I can see it happening. On the other hand, there are people saying, mostly stakeholders and Sam Altmans, there are people saying that LLMs are a generic birthright for humans, kind of like water and electricity and internet. I don't know where this is going to lead. But those who know, they know. Oh, I forgot which tech CEO forbids cell phones from his children. Ah. Yeah. I mean, I can totally see it. It was probably Mark Zuckerberg. He would know how stupid all of this is. Huge tech companies lobby against such restrictions, at least in the USA. I can believe that, yes, because, I mean, if you look at it, all of the pension funds and everything is in the S&P 500. So if people stop using AI, or if there's a law against using AI for underage people, then everything might crumble, or sooner than later. There will probably be a major divide of kids fully raised on iPads and AI, and kids whose parents have sense and aren't raised by heavy tech. Yeah, I wish this were true. I hope that we will still have people who raise the kids with common sense. But it is likely gonna be... this is what troubles me, because now that parents are addicted to the phones, they don't want to spend time with the kids, because this gives them much more dopamine. This is the unfortunate truth. So the solution is, hey, I have a kid now. Here, you can have this as well. So then everybody has this iPad and iPhone. So I think it starts at the top, where parents are also addicted and they don't want to waste any time on things that don't give them a lot of dopamine. How does one actually enforce this rule? Porn is illegal for underage people, and yet the enforcement of that is lacking, to say the least. I have no idea. You could also argue that smoking is illegal, and plenty of teenagers are also smoking. So people will always find a way. And if we take this to heart, what a game dev said to me once, people should always be allowed to self-destruct, because otherwise we will never be free. Freedom means that you're allowed to use self-destructive things, because otherwise you are not living in a free country. And I guess I kind of agree, but where's the line? Where do you draw the line? If for example, mobile phones are responsible for the downfall because of or of the social media apps. For the downfall of humanity, because nobody wants to have kids anymore, because, you know, having kids is boring, more boring than being on Instagram the entire day. Is it safe to say that maybe, I don't know, it is really hard to say. It blew my mind even 10 years ago when parents gave 5-year-olds smartphones. Yeah, I was so confused because what is a child doing that's so important they need a supercomputer? Exactly. Just let a kid have some fun with, you know, Lego or something like that. The answer was YouTube and Roblox. My God, yeah. Dude, there's a, you know, this kids section in YouTube is so weird. Like, if you've ever seen a video that was targeted toward kids, this is almost like a fever dream. It's specifically made so your kid completely shuts down and just stares at the screen like this. So weird. This discussion doesn't help my anxiety coming back to the city. Yeah, I would say it does not. Interesting to see the next 10 years. Absolutely. Not even the next 10 years are going to be insane, but just think about the next 3 years. I mean, when has ChatGPT been actually unleashed? When was ChatGPT publicly released? Was not that long ago, right? It was November 2020. So I would say around 3.5 years ago, right? And I mean, 3 years is nothing. And I honestly think, I mean, everybody knows this, but I honestly think that the world has irreversibly changed from this point on. It's crazy. Everything changed. And this was just in 3 years. So I don't know. We're all going to die, but at least we're going to die with, we're all going to die while trying to record a TikTok dance. So it's all good. Apologies for that. We are officially in a doom and gloom part of the stream. No, it's, you know, I think it is worth mentioning because you need to be aware of this, and the more people that are aware of this around us, the higher the chances of, you know, people, I don't know, get back to, it will never get back to where it was. Let's be honest. It is here to stay for sure. But it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be super weird. Okay. Yeah, all going to die, panic. Game dev stream. Yes, let's let's do some game devs. No, I think I just wanted to. It is always worth having this discussion. Honestly, always worth it. I talk about this with other game devs a lot. I mean, this always comes up, and you know, you always talk about. You know, there was this recent thing on Twitter or something and other social media sites. I'm not on Twitter, but I saw the YouTube video. And they talked about, you know, these one-shots of, you know, there's this one prompt and they one-shot a replica of a Call of Duty game. So they have this, the enter prompt and out comes a finished game that kind of looks like Call of Duty. But then there's still this, yes, you have this prototype now, but on the path to the finished game, you have to have humans on each step of the way. There's just currently no way around it. But people think that, you know, using AI, they can one-shot an entire game, which is currently still not true. But I mean, now that Roblox has added, you know, AI support where you can just, you know, speak into your phone and let it generate something for you inside of Roblox. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just, it's nice to vent. Exactly, it's nice to vent, and obviously, I mean, we need to talk about it because is it still valuable that I sit here and do everything by hand? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think like I'm still enjoying coding. I think there's still value to knowing what you're doing. Because people might, at this point in time, still need people who actually understand what, certain parts of the code is doing. Or understand performance or put into consoles. There's still, at this moment, there's still a human needed. But maybe not in the future? I don't know. We need a palette cleanser of this? Yes, let's do it.
How interesting. Just look at that. All right. Get away from there, Freeman. I'm expecting an important message.
That was good. Let's watch it again.
Responsible for this mess. How interesting.
Okay.
Just look at that.
I love these.
Get away from there, Freeman. I'm expecting an important message. A fellow
Shut
scientist.
up.
Who is responsible for this
That was a
mess?
good one. I love these Half-Life sound effect cat memes. This is so good. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, that was a good cleanser, palette cleanser. If you play this video in reverse, he's actually putting the laundry away. Oh my god. What a nice cat who would actually, put the laundry away for once. Why do I always get the shut up line? I don't know. Is this an AI video? And we are right back at it. We are right back on the topic. Oh my god. We cannot have nice things anymore. Okay, so let me see if I can do this in or if I have to reset it to English. Probably have to reset it. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a good idea. But we're one step closer. Oh, wait. Maybe you can do it. This is the company name. I mean, the logo. Hang on 1 second. Oh, this is the Xcode. Doesn't say what kind of... Wait a minute. iOS tab. Player as the setup valid reverse DNS string. What is that? I'm gonna set it to English eventually. But I need to restart it. I just need to figure out what this is. File build profiles, add profile. Huh? Okay. Okay, this is a bit more advanced. Target OS version, graphics API. Okay. And then you should already be able to build it. Cool. Yeah. I guess I will try it this week and see how far I get. That sounds really good. And so maybe I will try it tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I already have the results of this. That sounds really good. And then I can already say if this is gonna take a longer time than I thought, or if we need a Unity upgrade. But from the looks of it, we might just be fine. We might just be fine, actually. That sounds good. Okay, so the plan is we're gonna try making the iOS port in August. Okay, this might be... Needs to compile, accepted, yes, seems to be fine. So, I'm gonna plan August iOS port. Oh, here it is. August iOS port. Then in September, I mean probably sooner. Let's just say mid-August. I don't expect the iOS port to take that long, honestly. I think maybe in 1 week it's already out there. That is at least my assumption. We're going to work on the new starter deck. No, actually, you know what? The XP thing. Yeah, XP manager. Then in September, we're going to work on new starter deck. which is going to be the worshipper. And then I have the entire October for the other thing that I want to do, which the reason I'm not mentioning it is because I'm not sure yet. But it seems like I have a lot of time, right? It's that is really, really good. So apart from the other thing that I didn't mention yet, maybe there is actually still time to make music. If I can make 2 more tracks for each chapter, that is, or at least 1 for each chapter, so that's 3 tracks. That could be a good thing to... That could be an achievable goal to reach for. I think that's nice. Now, I would like to have 12, but that is very... that is probably not possible in 1 month. But 3, I can do that. I can do that. I've made an album in 2 weeks. Now, with the big asterisk there. I did have, you know, I have to work on those quite a bit afterwards. But yeah, that should be possible. And then we can work on the redacted thing that I'm not sure about yet. And then November the 15th, public beta of all the big changes. And December 17th is winter sale, and then we're likely gonna have January, February with you know, making sure fix all the bugs. Everything needs to be fixed by then. So we have 2 months left, which should be fine. It should be fine. There are other things that I also still want to do. Like I want to add at least 5 more atonements. I'm just going to list what I want to do in October. So, and this is way too much, but this is a nice to have, okay? 5 atonements, 5 more blessings, because we still have art just lying around that wants to be in the game. And I don't want to add a boon system because I think it might be too late for that, but that would be really, really nice. I'm gonna take it off the list because it's very unrealistic. 5 more atonements, 5 more blessings, and I think those are the big ones. Yeah, so for October, and maybe the death thingy. Let's see. You have Mac and Xcode. I was a mobile developer a long time ago. I needed those 2 for iPhone releases. Zero knowledge about the current process. Okay, yes, I have a Mac and I don't have Xcode yet, but I have a Mac. I have an iPhone, so I should be good, right? I should be alright. Have you heard of Kovis before? It's a Turkish string instrument with an extremely somber sound to it. No, I have not. Let's take a listen. Oh yeah. The 5 tracks I want to have collabs with JP Wogerman, Colton Crawford, and maybe Sarah Hager. So these are the 3 tracks that I want to make. Oh my god, it sounds really good already. Wow. Oh my god, this is a collab that you did, Renderpunk. That's crazy. Do you still know this person? Wait, let me listen to that. Wait, you made this track? That's really good. I have looked at this album before, because I looked through your discography, but I've not seen it. Well, yeah, that's really cool. Something like that, yes, absolutely. It was a film soundtrack for a grieving scene. Nice. I mean, nice in terms of, you know, in terms of that you got to make it. Okay. Let's take a look again. iOS port in August seems good. Mid-August EXP manager. Okay. I cannot work on this before this is done. Now I might be able to do a bit more pre-work on both of these. Maybe actually I can make a prototype out of this and kind of hide it from the release. There is a possibility that this is possible, but yeah. Can I? Okay. Yeah, no, I think this is a good overview. Let's remove that. iOS port, Android port, physical button press. And 2027 is the console port. Yeah, seems like we have a plan here. Your company account on Apple. I have nothing set up on Apple yet. So, I mean, you said you were a mobile developer a long time ago. I think, I mean, maybe the process is still relatively the same. You need an Apple account, a company account, and then you need to pay $100 a year for it, right? And then you're basically ready to go. I think the biggest hurdle is going to be whether this is compiling for the iOS port or not. This might just be the biggest thing. Maybe releasing it is not the biggest problem. I assume this is true because I think it was the same for Android. I don't keep in touch with the co-wiz player, unfortunately. He was a student in a music university and just improvised on top of the instrumental I made on my laptop. Cool. I can find you another co-wiz player and record his part in studio easily. Okay. But don't do it just yet, Renderpunk. Okay. Don't do it just yet. I will keep it in the back of my mind, and if I ever need it, I will let you know. I think my main thing is going to be collaborating with these three people because, well, I've already talked to Wogerman and Colton pretty much, and I want to try this as well. And if I then still have more time, we can think about it. But yeah, this is definitely a cool instrument. I like it. Xcode probably does a lot of heavy lifting for you, all the signing, etc. Okay. Okay, so even whatever Unity is generating, then Xcode will just do the rest, is what you're saying. Okay. No worries. Okay, it sounds like a plan. Now there's something here where I also want to get out a demo for my next game somewhere around here. So I think this is actually possible. It's still possible because it leaves me a bit of time. Yeah. Okay. Anything that I'm missing? 5 atonements, 5 blessings. Yeah. We are also going to get what is his name? God damn it. We're going to get Check the Generalist is going to be back on the project. Maybe starting next week, actually. So we're going to have some VFX update as well, which is going to be really exciting. I think this is going to be it's going to step up the game even more. So somewhere around here is also going to be where the VFX is getting a bit of a facelift. New game announcement. Oh, new game demo. No, I don't know if it's gonna be announced. But yeah, somewhere around here. My God. Speaking of game dev, I don't know, that segue kind of fell flat. But my game is currently in a bundle, which is called the Game Industry Hardship Fund. and at the moment it has already raised $100,000. So if you wanna get 100 games for $10 with my game included, check out this bundle, and it helps other people, it helps this charity as well. But yeah, this is a really, really cool bundle that I stumbled into. I don't even know how I got into this. Sometimes you get a random email from something that you have subscribed a long time ago, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna be on that. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the next step is going to be to figure out whether iOS is compiling, and as always, I need to do that off stream. So on Wednesday, I will let you know the results of that and whether we need to postpone this iOS pod or not. I think this is a good plan. But yeah, that means that this is it for today. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I think this was a really, really cool stream today. We got a lot discussed, you know, in terms of marketing with MadChirpy. The podcast, the new episode is going to be out maybe by the end of this week. And I'm going to be back on Wednesday. In the meantime, we're going to rate MadChirpy because we want to know more about him. We want to know what he's doing today. Okay. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to have you all here. I wish you a great evening, a great rest of your day, and see you again on Wednesday. Goodbye.
Do you have mosquitoes in Sweden?